If you have a budget of $800 or less and you're looking for a Prebuilt PC, I will show you 3 different gaming desktops that are going to fit your budget, and at the end I will give you 2 extra that are a bit above $800 and are going to be way better in terms of performance, but I will talk about that in a second. Before starting, I want to say that you will have all the links to these PCs down below in the video description for the latest prices. And if you don't understand anything about computers, don't worry about it, this video is still for you because I will explain what these PCs are capable of running and what you can expect out of these systems. That being said, let's start. With the first one, we have the cheapest one on the list for $570, and we are talking about the HP Pavilion gaming desktop. This one is from Amazon and it comes with the AMD Radeon RX 5500 for the GPU and the Ryzen 3 5300G for the CPU. Now, this is a 1080p combo medium settings type of PC. You also get 8 gigs of RAM and 500 gigs of SSD. The only upgrade that I do recommend you doing down the line, if you have the budget to, is the RAM. If you can afford another stick of 8 gigs of RAM, it's not going to be that expensive, don't worry about it, and the upgrade is pretty easy to do, and at the end you will get a much better performance, especially in high demanding RAM video games. Not only that, but also you will be getting a better PC overall. Now, the RX 5500 and the Ryzen 3 5600G, like I mentioned before, it's a 1080p gaming CPU GPU combo, and if you're looking to play esports titles such as Valorant, CSGO, Fortnite, Minecraft at around 140 plus FPS on average, this PC is definitely for you, as you don't need to spend more than this in order to have a 144Hz 1080p monitor. Now, the other titles that you can run without any issues are games like GTA 5, even Red Dead Redemption 2 medium settings at 1080p, and these type of games. But if you're expecting to run games like Cyberpunk 2077 ultra settings, even at 1080p 60 plus FPS on average, this PC is not for you. But if you want a functional system that is going to give you a really decent 1080p gaming performance for the price, this one being the cheapest one on the list, I think is absolutely a great deal. With the next one, we have another one from HP, but this time you're buying it from their website, and it's the upgraded version, the HP Victus 15L. It's $600, but it's going to be more expensive because you want to make some upgrades before buying. Don't worry, you don't have to make them yourself. Just click on customize and buy and change the settings that I'm about to tell you. The main thing that you want to change is the GPU to the GTX 1660 Super. Now, the price after this upgrade is going to be $740, and this is the upgrade that is going to give you the best performance gains. Now, after this, if you have more money than $740, you can also upgrade the storage and the RAM to 16 gigs of RAM and 500 gigs of SSD at least. And just like I said with the last PC, the 16 gigs of RAM are going to be crucial not only for gaming but also for multitasking. Now, if you want more RAM and more storage but you don't have more money and you also don't have enough money to go with the 1660 Super, then I do recommend you staying with the RX 5500, which is still an upgrade. The default PC comes with the RX 6400. Do not get it with this GPU, upgrade it to the 5500, and after this upgrade you are getting an upgraded version from the HP Pavilion with a better looking design, better CPU and better power supply. Now, everything else is going to be the same if you keep the RX 5500, but if you get the GTX 1660 Super, you're going to get a much better 1080p gaming experience. There's no game that you can't run with the GTX 1660 Super at 1080p 60 plus FPS on average, even ultra settings for most titles. And even the highest demanding video games like Flight Simulator and Cyberpunk 2077, you are going to be able to run these games, of course, on the lowest settings. It's not going to be the best experience, but at least you will be able to run these games for a low price. With the next one, we have the MXC gaming PC from Amazon. This one is $700 and it comes with the i5-10400F. Now, I know 10th gen Intel is actually becoming old, but still a great 1080p budget CPU. Then you get the GTX 1660 Super. Just like I said before, great GPU for 1080p budget gaming. You get 60 gigs of RAM, 2x8, and then you get 500 gigs of SSD. Now, this is a more complete PC than the HP Victus with only the GPU to upgrade to the 1660 Super, and it's also cheaper. That being said, this is a brand that I haven't bought any PC from, and I've actually tested a Big2's PC myself, an HP Pavilion PC as well, so I can tell you those PCs are going to give you a good performance, and here I can't tell you how reliable this PC is going to be, and for that reason I do recommend you going for the Big2's instead, especially the one from the HP website, because you are going to get a better customer support in case something happens to your gaming PC. But anyway, you are buying from Amazon, and if something goes wrong you can just return it without any problems, but it is going to be painful as you wanted a gaming PC and you had to return it. I'm not saying this is going to happen. All I'm saying is I can tell you by experience the HP PCs are going to give you a good gaming experience, and that's why I do recommend you going with that PC and making the upgrades, even though it's going to be more expensive than going with this one. Now those were the three under $800, but for $830, which is $30 over the $800 budget, you can get the Omen 25L. This one has the i5 12400, a much better CPU than the ones that we've been talking about, and then you get the RTX 3050, which is slightly better than the 1660 Super, but it has NVIDIA DLSS and also ray tracing, but ray tracing at this price point is not going to be useful. You get 8 gigs of RAM. This is only one stick of RAM, so if you can afford another stick, you're going to get a much better experience. Then you get 256 gigs of M.2 SSD and a 580 plus bronze power supply for this system. So overall, a much better PC than the ones that I've been mentioning, since you're going to get a better CPU-GPU combo, which is the most important part on a gaming PC. Now, if you have even more money to spend, like $900, you can get this Skytech Nebula from the Skytech website, and I think this is the best option that you can get out of this list, and let me explain why. For $900, you are getting the same CPU-GPU combo as the last one, that's $830, and you may be wondering then why is this a better option if it's more expensive and it's going to give you the same gaming performance? Well, this PC has much better airflow because you get a front mesh panel, and then you also get much more upgradability down the line. This is a system integrator, meaning that you can change anything inside of the system. You also get a 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply, so you get more wattage for future upgrades. And let me tell you, 600 watts, it's an overkill for a 3050 system. Then you also get a 1TB NVMe SSD, where on the other PC you get 256 gigs. So if you want to download a bunch of games, this is a much better option as well. And then you get 16 gigs of RAM, so you don't have to upgrade the RAM down the line, because 16 gigs of RAM is enough for gaming, even on the high end level. Even if we are talking about PCs with the RTX 4090, actually 16 gigs of RAM are not going to bottleneck the system at all. And the only reason that I see why you may upgrade to 32 gigs of RAM is either if you're a content creator, you want to stream games while having a bunch of tabs open, or you have a lot of programs running on the background. But anyway, for that reason, I think this one is the best option, but it is above the $800 mark, so if you can't go as far as $900, then don't worry about it. You can stay with the last one for $830 or the other ones. Those are still good options for the price, there's no doubt about it. All I'm saying is, if you can extend your budget, then the upgrade is actually going to be worth the money. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I will try to reply as fast as possible. And if you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly, hit the bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for your support, and I will see you on the next one.